Yeah, hello, good evening. Yeah, there's something I want to tell you. Uh, I'm studying Spanish for most. There's something was happening with me when for example, I got easily these associations with words, like when I uh, come across the word niña, also the girl. It makes me a little bit sad because I remember one uh, girl, child, 16-year-old, named Jane Grey, who was murdered because just some very cruel woman named Mary, who was later called Bloody Mary, the daughter of Henry VIII, uh, just wanted to get rid of her. She was completely innocent because she was uh, chosen by uh, Edward, the son of Henry VIII, to be the follower, the queen. So it was actually without her consent, and he was too young to make decisions. Okay, uh, that time maybe a 17, a 16-year old was not treated as a child yet. But anyway, it was so waste, so cruel to have this young girl there on the Shabbat, on the scaffold, waiting for her death. And everything that happened was so cruel. What were these people thinking? Were they too scared to do, to, to, not to invent or for, uh, for in, as a try to stop this nonsense and cruelty? No, of course they were scared. Oh, everyone was scared, and she didn't find this stock because she was blindfolded, and nobody wanted to help her to find it. Yeah, it was also a cruel thing to do, but yeah, what would? Uh, uh, Finally, this Catholic priest who was trying to convert her into Catholicism before she was about to die, but well, it ended that they became friends because she refused to leave this Protestantic faith. Why it was also waste was that she was one of the most learned women of that time. She knew many languages. She was brilliant uh, with her intelligence. Um, uh, and she was also uh, 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 schooled together with Elizabeth sometime because they lived at the widow queen, this uh, what was Parr, I don't remember, Jane Parr, this the last wife of Henry VIII who survived him. So yeah, and she was treating her like a daughter. She was actually 10 years when she came to live there, and yeah, Catherine Parr or Jane Parr, maybe Catherine Parr. Yeah, okay, but you can find out in history. But that was so cruel, and just to kill a innocent person who could uh, be so much uh, uh, to uh, to make a world better with her intelligence, with her knowledge and everything. It was really, and just and that was actually um she was uh, like a pawn in the game, and without her consent, so she was uh, became queen. They called her 9 days queen. Well, some say that it was 13 days, but anyway, and she was never crowned, coronated, never. But what do you think about Catholicism, which was the religion, so-called religion of Catherine, no, Mary, uh, the eldest surviving child of the Henry VIII. Um, so, because the nickname Bloody Mary she got when she murdered so many Protestants by first torturing them and then burning alive and other cruelties that she was made. So, if this is this a religion of Christ? No, it's fucking something really evil when people do these kind of things. But still, there was so much cruelty. For example, this uh, Catherine Howard, who was uh, the wife of Henry VIII and then condemned to death and executed with her, with another lady who was her, what you call this? This is a company, uh, yeah. They were girls. They were not grown-ups according to today's measures. They were children. I think she was 17 when she died, and the Henry VIII was so that time already so old and disgusting, so she couldn't bear, and then she accident by her tragical to fate for to meet her tragical fate. She chose a young man, uh, and she had to watch his execution before she. But eh, nobody knows. Well, there's not so much written. It's fiction. There are several different kind of versions. Films, movies, and TV series about how she met her death. Some showed her to be very afraid and screaming, "I don't want to die," and another version. I think this was a series called The Tudors. She was she didn't want to show her fear, and she said openly that she would rather die as a wife of this young man. She had a kind of affair. I don't know if it was just that they were meeting, because it didn't mean anything to this psychopathic king, Henry VIII. Uh, he just wanted to have um, another wife. So it was just a demonic excuse to get rid of her. Just like Anne Boleyn, she was totally innocent. She had the only crime that she had was that she couldn't uh, give birth to a male child. Yeah. Actually, the only surviving child was Elizabeth. What did she, as a girl, feel that her mother was murdered by axe? No, by sword, actually. Yeah, and this was even crueler because yeah, you have to be in certain position. You have to hold yourself, otherwise it would uh, be very painful if this swordsman missed. Yeah, and yeah, they say that she died with one blow. But even to think about it it's so much cruelty and evil. So, as a former Archbishop of Canterbury said, Henry VIII is in hell. Well, how the fuck could he know that? We know where. We don't know where we go when we die. Maybe nowhere, or maybe. Yeah, we don't know. There's no one has come to tell us afterwards when from the dead. How, yeah, in New Testament there's Jesus came from the dead and showed himself to the women and then to the disciples. The women were also actually his disciples and such things. But otherwise, I haven't met any of my friends who died have come to me to tell how it is, which is sad enough that they are dead. Some for no, to me, apparent reason, uh, because they were young, and so I suffer from this evilness so much. I feel bad, and maybe I just don't know what to do about it. Yeah, I cannot fight. I don't want to shoot either. I don't want to kill anyone. What can I do? Yeah. I somehow I suffered that I even hated mankind once in my life when I was younger, so that I moved to Sweden to live in the forest, and I lived there quite a long time. Uh, Avoiding people was my aim, but actually, I came to a place where I never been before. I knew nobody, and after 1 week, I already knew many people, and even more people knew me. So that's quite funny. But also, it's some kind of just testimony that all people aren't bad. But that was the reason that I wanted to not to live with the people. I wanted to live with the animals and all this in the forest, and I did. Yeah. Anyway, and that it happened such things. I heard also people say that, hey, uh, is it dangerous here in the forest? And somebody called to this camping place there because I became friends with the keeper of the camping place. His name was or is, it's a very long time ago. I don't know if he lives. Bernd, somebody called uh, from somewhere where close where I was living there where I had my camp in the forest, and said, "There's a man living in the forest. Is he dangerous?" And he became angry and says, "Hey, he's he, he's doing nothing to anybody. Why don't you just leave him alone?" Yeah. And then there was a woman named Nomi afterwards. She had also been called. She was the director of this boss of this the other some kind of not a camping place, but uh, it was a religious organization where had houses and rooms and such things. You would rent a room, or then they had some courses or different organizations. And she told me when we saw her, "Hey, take your tent and your things and come. You can you can live here in my yard. It's okay. You, you don't need to pay anything. You just set up your tent here." So yeah, but that was my last times there, and I had to go back to Finland. Yeah, so but I had good memories because I didn't have so much money, so I didn't buy very much from the shop, but I lived from the nature. I picked nettles and make soup and such things. Yeah, because our nature, our nature in Sweden and Finland is very rich in the summer. Yeah, it's actually quite easy to find food. Yeah, so that was my story about poor Jane. Yeah, there was a Rolling Stones made a song, Lady Jane, which has nothing to do with Jane Grey otherwise, but those people, these women, uh, those women, there are historical persons, but actually Lady Jane was addressed to a contemporary Persian, living Persian that time, which Mick Jagger had a lot of to do with. So, but it was surely, for sure, his uh, purpose to show some similarities with this tragical thing what happened to this young girl uh, in the what if 1553 54 she was murdered. Mm. Then when I think about this, I really become angry, and I just wish that all those who were just watching and letting her die would burn in hell. But of course, that's what I don't wish to anyone, because actually, even the thing about people in eternal torture in hell is so absurd. And what's the meaning of it? But that's, yeah, and that's religion. That's, yeah, man-made thing, religion. Even Protestantism is a religion, man-made. Only real thing is what we have in our hearts. It is called faith. I mean, could be called also as conscience. Some those who believe in God think that it's God's voice in our inner soul, or symbolically in our hearts, that tells us what is right and what we should do. It reminds us where we are going now and such things. Well, our task is just to listen and not listen to the other voices who say opposite things, like the evil leaders in this world, to Putin and all this in Iran and Saudi Arabia, even Trump. Yeah. So, Viktor Orban, I can tell you names also. Robert Fico, yeah, they are they are possessed by evil. I say, yeah. They have chosen it. You choose it. It doesn't happen just to you. It doesn't just happen to you. You choose it. You choose the right way or the wrong way. So simple, is it? Yeah. And other question is how easy it is to go on this right path, but that's another issue. Yeah. Okay. Have a good night. Yeah. Enjoy your rest of the day and sleep well. I just have to wait that this fire burns out. Yeah. So, nighty night.